Faiz Shakir of Think Progress has spoken to the wife of Imam Abdul Rauf in New York, Daisy Khan, about a conversation she has had earlier today with Imam Muhammad Masri from Orlando. He joins us now by phone. Faiz, walk us through this. What did Daisy Khan tell you?
Yeah, hi, Keith. Thanks for having me on. I just got off the phone with Daisy, and I'll just read from my notes if you have a
Please.
second. She said, we have not agreed to anything other than meeting with the pastor at a future point down the road when cooler heads have prevailed. She also said, we reject any comparison to what we were prepared to build in New York and what the pastor was ready to destroy in Florida. Again, she said that she emphasized that the meeting was not planned for Saturday, but rather at a point in the future when people have had a time to reflect on it. The last point she made, Keith, was we do not want to take away from the solemn day of 9/11. That's why they don't want to meet on Saturday. She said our center is not about 9/11. The Quran is not about 9/11. We wish to commemorate 9/11 with prayers for the families of the victims.
Did the imam in Orlando, Faiz, did he call Daisy Khan with an offer, basically, or how did this transpire? Do you know the nature of whatever transaction that was supposedly involved here? How that happened?
Well, from what I understand, Imam Masri in Orlando called Daisy in a bit of a panic, saying that I'm here talking to Pastor Jones, and I want to give him something to try to negotiate this compromise. And initially he said, would you be asking Daisy, would you be willing to renegotiate the location of the center? And she said, no, of course not. And then, and so he said, well, would you agree to meet with them? And she said, sure, we'll meet with anybody, but we'd like to meet with them down the road at some point. And so she was a bit surprised when Imam Masri and Jones suggested that they were going to come up almost immediately.
So are we getting a picture of this now that Imam Masri said, look, I've got you the meeting to discuss moving Park 51, and I personally think it should be moved, that's what he said, and Pastor Jones heard, oh, we've got a meeting to discuss when it's going to be moved?
Well, forgive me for my cynical take on this, Keith, but I think Pastor Jones was trapped in the box here. He had to. I think he felt like he had to back down after the call from Secretary Gates. The quote-unquote Ground Zero mosque was never an issue he was talking about. It was not on his radar. That was not the ostensible reason for burning the Qurans. So I think that in trying to get out of the box that he was in, he tried to shift, do a little bait and switch and shift onto the mosque issue. And so I think that that's a little bit of at least a strategy of Jones trying to say, put the onus back onto Imam Rauf and say, well, this is now his issue. He has to deal with it. When, of course, Pastor Jones was the one that was hijacking the nation with this ridiculous Quran burning attempt.
Faiz Shakir of Think Progress recounting his conversation with Daisy Khan, the wife of the imam in New York, recounting her conversation with the Imam Masri in Orlando. Faiz, great thanks for being with us on such short notice. Thank you.